إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره بلغ الرسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وكشف الغمة وجاهد بالله حق جهاده. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always asks of us to be in a mood of taqwa. And this word has been going around our life for a long time. But the question is, what does it mean? And how do you achieve it? And what are the real life steps that we need to do for that? When the ulama were asked, what is taqwa? They went to the language and says, what does it mean? Taqwa in the language of Arabic is to protect your own self. Because you use something called waqi. Waqi means a protector. So if you go to war, you would have your own shield. So there's arrows coming in, tattaqi. And you could use anything to provide that taqwa. So how do you translate this into Islam? Well, you need to have a protection for yourself in the day after. Because you have your own sins and you have your own things coming in. And you would have all the outside influences hurting you. You have shaitan trying to take you astray from your path. And shaitan always divided into jinn and ins. The weakest of them is the jinn. He gives you the ideas, just start with it. And then your nafs, the one inside, can accept or can refuse. When you get that bad idea in your head, know that shaitan is putting that through. But if that idea keeps repeating, this is not shaitan, this is your nafs. Your nafs, your soul, has both paths, righteousness and sinner. And you're the one who chooses. Ulama used to call it a child. And a child can be raised and can be taught. Either you teach the child to be spoiled and gets whatever he wants, or you could teach that child to be mindful, to be understanding that life has to have balances. So taqwa is something that is a shield that you would have, because there's a lot of arrows coming your way. And the arrows come from different sides and not from one that you could just put it here and you're done. You have to keep on turning and moving. One of the tabi'een went to the scholars and said, how can I protect myself when time is throwing all these arrows of fitan towards me? And we have to understand before that fitan is anything that is testing you. Because in Arabic, fitna means test. And it comes from when the gold jewelers, they get any gold, they have to make fitna for that gold. What do? They throw it in fire. If there is anything that is added to the gold, it will burn away. What stays? The pure gold. So choosing that word, subhanAllah, fitna, is such a beautiful choice that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose. It will bring out that gold in you if you do it the right way. If you burn all that bad impurities away and separate them, you're left with gold. And then whatever arrows that comes to you, you don't care. You're made of gold. You don't oxidize, you don't change over time. You keep your luster, shine throughout history. If you get gold from 5,000 years ago, it is still just as shiny. The truth doesn't change. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. So that person was asking the scholar, how do I avoid those arrows? And he told him a very strange answer. He said, go and stand by the one shooting them. It will never get hit. You will never get hit if you stand next to the person shooting the arrows. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created all this life with all its fitan, with all its trials, with all its tests. And all you are asked to do is stand beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he goes and he says, how can you stand next to the shooter? He said, have you seen a small child? He said, yes, I have. He said, have you seen his mom scolding the child because she loves him so much? And he said, yes, I have. He said, what does the child do when he gets scolded? He says, I don't know. He cries? He says, yes, but he hugs his mom. He stays closer to her. He doesn't go away from her. Because he knows she loves him the most. And whatever she's doing to him is only to make him better. It is not to make it worse. Because when we are hit with calamities around our life, we start thinking about that calamity itself. We start thinking of the problem itself. No, that's not what you're asked. Go to the shooter. Go to the one who sent that calamity to you, because he's the only one who knows the solution. And the best part of it all, you do not need to know the solution. It will come to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken about many trials throughout history, from different nations and different sects and different times and different places. But the solution is always one. Going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Going back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is what solves any problem that you have. The first one was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I mean, for us, now we have a religion ready, thousands of scholars written thousands of books. All we got is read them. But for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's getting this firsthand. He had no experience from the people before him. It's all ghaib to him. He never knew anything. And now you're standing against your people in a deserted place, and you're illiterate, and you're supposed to deal with all that. Nobody has hit as much as the Prophet ﷺ. So whenever you are hit with a calamity, think, oh, it's easy. Rasulullah ﷺ has been hit with something even stronger than that. So his family, his tribe, his city, he's totally in jail. Everything around him is hating him, speaking ill about him, hurting him physically and mentally. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consoles him, gives him the solution. وَإِنَّا لَنَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ يَضِيقُ صَدْرُكَ بِمَا يَقُولُونَ. You are hit so much by what they are saying, you feel your chest is closing in and your heart is getting smashed. What we call these days depression. He's getting depressed by all that. So what do? You speak against them? No. You tell them this, tell them that? No. فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. The only thing you're asked to do is to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So many kinds of tasbih that we have. So many prayers that we have. Simple, anybody can do it. وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. So if you want the solution with all these people around you, and especially the ones that are close to you because they hurt the most. Because when you get hit from somebody who's far away, it's okay, I'm never going to see him again. But somebody who's close to you, how do you get rid of it? You can't. But you make your relation with Allah a better relation. Anytime you feel that your chest is closing in, know that you have made a mistake. your connection is a little weak. Because when that connection is strong, nothing else hurts you. You have that taqwa with you. You have that shield. We have our farmer friends here. When you go to the bees and you have your bee suit, you're not worried. I got my bee suit. Doesn't matter. 1,000 bees around you? 2,000? You don't care. I have my shield. I have my taqwa. Doesn't matter how many it is. Doesn't matter how powerful they are. As soon as that shield goes away, you're in deep trouble. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the Prophet ﷺ, you are one person against thousands. That doesn't matter. Because you have that taqwa. You have that chest coming in. Yeah, it's okay. سَبِّحْ بِسْمِ رَبِّكَ وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described it even further. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. If you have that taqwa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will have an exit for you. And I'm sure you're all experienced people. It's always the exit that you have never thought about. Because we always think it's like, okay, I need to get out of the door. No, it could be the window. If that door is locked, you have many exits. And any firefighter will tell you, don't think about the door. Think about your next exit, the one next to you. Don't think about going too far. Don't go for the door. You are used for the door. You used to go for the door all the time. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has described it. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. He has put that rule. It's a rule. It will be a rizq where you do not expect. You would think, like, okay, my experience in life, and I'm so educated, and my dad taught me, and my grandpa told me this and that. I have all that experience. I'm confident. And you go for the door, and it's locked. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has explained it. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ. So if I don't expect this door to be unlocked, what do I do? Again, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. Make that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your connection is with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not to the door, it's not to your experience, it's not for the people who are closest to you and who said they will help you out. It doesn't matter. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can bring a stranger to you. You have no idea who he is, and he will pull you out. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, 13 years. And then people from a city called Yathrib come to him. What is that? It's a very bad city. It's plagued with disease. It is known as the city of sickness. It is known as a city of fever. It has two tribes that have been killing each other for years. It has the Jewish central of Arabia. If you make any measurements or any calculations, that's the first city you throw away. And you say, probably not. So, Rasulullah ﷺ does what he is requested to do. He does da'wah to Allah. Whoever comes in, he tells him what the need is. You say, La ilaha illallah, you say Muhammad Rasulullah, and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a few emissaries come in and talk to him, and they believe in him right away. And say, we'll come to you. When are you going to come? Tomorrow? No, next year. I'm getting hurt here. He doesn't even think about it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives him a pass to go and build an Islamic civilization that will be from east to west. Was this calculated by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No. Nobody even knew. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always decides. Gives you a victory out of the inside of your loss. Why? Because you have that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because everything around you is called asbab, reasons. This is poverty, this is this, this is that. But your connection is to the musabbib, who the one who gave everything its power. If you have that connection, you have nothing to worry about. Because if we look at the prophets before us, peace be upon them, they would come in with different people following them. So Rasulullah comes with millions, Isa alayhi salam comes with so and so, Musa comes with so and so. But some prophets would come with 20 people. And you would say, only 20? Let me give you more. Some will come with even less. Nuh, 950 years of preaching. Not his age, just his time preaching. 950 years. So some ulama say, about 14 people followed him. 14. Yes. Some will say, no, it wasn't 14, it was 7. But when you look at the description of Nuh alayhi salam, he's one of the greatest. So it's not about the numbers, it's about that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you compare the Sahaba, same thing. For us, we like, we're not Khalid, the one fighting. Umar al-Khattab, the strong. The Prophet ﷺ chose, no, I want Abu Bakr. He's not the spender who spends on everybody. No. He's not the bravest. No. He's not the one praised the most. No. Then what is it? Rasulullah ﷺ describes him. He says he never overtook anybody by money or by bravery or by prayer. But he took everybody by what's in his heart. That belief, that connection of taqwa. Taqwa to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You live in a world that nobody lives in. You create that world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you that connection and it will be your peace. It doesn't matter what happens to the world. You're at the best corner. And if we look in the Islamic history, after the Prophet ﷺ, it always happened the same. You would see a lot of ulama and people of da'wah striving and getting nothing. And then the second or the third generation after them, Islam conquers the whole world. If you look at Salahuddin al-Ayyubi, for example, he came at the time like we are. People took Palestine and half the land is gone and this and that. And everybody's like, oh, Salahuddin did this and that. He didn't. He finished it at the end. But before him, there was great work we might not have heard about. Of course, the Islamic books have all the Ahmad-ad-Din Zinki and all that, and how they prepared everything. And Salah ad-Din came and picked that fruit at the end. Same thing happened with the Mongols when they came in and all that, and a lot of striving, a lot of work from great ulama, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, and a lot of people. And then Qutuz comes in at the end and destroys the whole Mongol empire. Yes, people remember the victorious person, but all these people before him, they have worked hard with taqwa and connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that made that victory at the end. They never saw the fruit. Yes, because that's what Islam is all about. Islam is connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Jannah at the end. Whatever happens in this world is none our business. I work, I do. What is the result? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give it to me, because He's the most generous. And His result is the best. Whatever I get in this world, it doesn't matter, because it's not of value. What is of value is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who created everything else. So, I go back to this ayah every time I feel tired, I feel defeated, I feel I cannot do much more. سبح بحمد ربك وكن من الساجدين. That is my only rule in life. Rasulullah ﷺ left without any worldly possessions. But he had سبح بحمد ربك وكن من الساجدين. The ulama says there's a paradise on earth. If you do not enter it, you do not enter the paradise with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is that paradise? Is that when you are praying and you are feeling that you are not in this world. You have that connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you feel that you're isolated from the whole world and your prayer is your only connection, this is your paradise that is giving you a glimpse of what is going to happen at the day of judgment. أقول هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولجميع المسلمين. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. We see the news every day and we see this Muslim country and that Muslim country, the hurt and things like that. And it's like, what am I going to do? Well, if you hear the news or you don't hear the news, it's the same. Yes, you are requested to know what calamities are there to the Muslims in the world and you help as much as possible. But don't put that weight on your shoulder. Because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to take care of. What you're supposed to do is what you're supposed to do. That possible ring around you. You have money, that's part of the possible ring. You have tongue, you could do da'wah, you can do that. That's your possible ring. You have children that you're raising to be a Muslim, that's part of it. Don't think it's like, okay, how am I going to change India? Or how Palestine is going to be liberated by me. It's not. This is reality. But you work on what you have. Because shaitan comes to you and throws all these stones on your back and tells you, oh, it's so heavy, you cannot walk anymore. Why don't you stop and rest? No, I'm not resting. I'm continuing my journey. And I will see the change because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in charge of that change. Things that were impossible before became possible now. So that connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only thing I need. That circle around me that goes bigger and bigger every day. And if my today is the same as my yesterday, I have a problem. I need that circle to grow. Same thing in the future. I need that circle to be bigger than today. I will put those seeds. There's a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ says, do not call yourself a growers of seed, but call yourself plowing the land. Because what grows the seed is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You could put seeds from here to tomorrow and they don't come out. Because our only job is to plow and prepare that land. When we prepare it and put it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of it. He will grow that seed if He wants to. Because if that's time, it's perfect for you. Because that door is locked right now. It will open when it needs to open. Because your connection is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've done what I have to do. Remember that Prophet? He did whatever he had to do. And he became one of the best people on earth. And nobody comes close to any Prophet. Even if there is no followers for him at all. But alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides us with victory in this life and the hereafter on the condition of work. And how do I work? I work with فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَكُنْ مِنَ السَّاجِدِينَ. I praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all the ways I know, and I pray to Him. And that circle goes to me, my children, and to everybody that I know. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم اغفر لنا أجمعين والحقنا بالصالحين، توفنا مسلمين، توفنا وأنت راض عنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم ارفع الغمة عن هذه الأمة يا رب العالمين. اللهم قوي شوكة المسلمين. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم رد كيد الخائنين في نحورهم. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من شرورهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اكفناهم بما شئت وكيف شئت. اللهم عليك بأعدائك أعداء الدين يا رب العالمين. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك ردا جميلا. اللهم اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولمشايخنا ولكل من له حق علينا ولإخواننا وأخواتنا وكل المسلمين يا رب العالمين. اللهم كل المسلمين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها، ارفع عنا الغمة يا رب العالمين، وعافنا واعف عنا، وعلى طاعتك أدلنا وإلى غيرك لا تكلنا. اللهم آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. وصل اللهم على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم عدد ما أحاط به علمك وخط به قلمك وأحصاه كتابك. وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي، وعنا معهم برحمتك إنك على كل شيء قدير. وأقم الصلاة.